দিছি। না অন হইতাছে। লোড খাইতাছে।
But don't let the top with a 1-0 lead that.
আমি স্টার্ট করে দিচ্ছি।
ঢুকছি আমি বুঝতেছি না।
আচ্ছা
ওয়ালিদ ঢুকে নাই।
আরে ইমতিয়াজ
ইমতিয়াজ ঢুকে নাই। ওই মনে হয় আইসে সামিউল আইসে ইমতিয়াজ আইসে।
যাই না
ইমতিয়াজ আইসে প্ল্যান নাই।
আরে ভাই আমার পুরো আটকায় আছে কইলাম তো আমার নেট বাজে অবস্থা।
আরে প্যারা না, ইমতিয়াজ আইসে লাস্ট একটা ওই যে এমকিউ। ভিডিও স্ট্রিম করছিস, ভিডিও করে রাখছিস? না আমি কইলাম এটা তুই ভিডিও করে রাখতে পারিস চাইলে। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে বল।
ও T1 আল্লাহ T1 নাকি TSM তো কি T1 এটা T1 এটা কি T1 ওই কাদের টিম ব্র্যাক্স? ও TSM তো বুঝলাম বুঝছি
একটা অফ টপিক বলেছি ওই যে টিএসএম এর $50,000 ওই যে 50,000 মিলিয়ন কত ডলারের যে গেমিং খুলছে দেখছিস? হ্যাঁ গেমিং অ্যাপার্টমেন্ট যেটা ভাই কানছি আমি কতক্ষণ।
সাপোর্ট আছে তো এটা ভালো খেলে।
স্টার্ট ফুল স্ক্রিন করা যায় না?
The advantage was that TSM would have that win. That is now gone as Sentinels have managed to pick up that to our second match in the grand finals. But don't let the top of the screen fool you. TSM came into this one with a 1-0 lead because they were in the upper bracket finals. They won that. The advantage was that TSM would have that win. That is now gone as Sentinels have managed to pick up that Haven game. Now we're going to be moving forward here, and out of the gate, you're going to go right over toward mid and just take control of Heaven. Just scope all around this. So like they'll have Shazam playing over there. He looked, he didn't see what he liked, so they just wait this one around here. Meanwhile,
they had a defender
kind of scrambling a little bit, but they've got a read on what is going to be happening here. Look out though for that fight for the Cypher potentially, but I like that they're just not really just waiting it out. They're waiting for they're biding their time because of this wall.
And there is a Cypher camera as well, just staring at ramp, so they've got that at any point just to try and gain any information. But it is going to be the push onto the A side here.
They block off Drone in the back. He can't really get out of this fight, and he's just going to have to focus on actually tearing that one down. But Wardell, though, he'll be the one to handle all the business that's necessary. Sinatra gets a kill. Dapper as well gets followed. Spike now will be planted. It's going to be Dapper. He's healthy. He's Dapper. Whether or not, though, this is to work out, you have to be mindful of the fact that there were players coming from that ramp side, and that will be a first blood here for TSM as they manage to pick up this. And this goes right back to your point, Gaskin, that on the defense, this is where TSM, they just have to rack up as much as they possibly can here. The clock will be ticking. It's still, you know, even with the adjustments, still very favored. It's vital that they do well here in this first half.
And there was a lot of things to digest about that early round from TSM as well. I mean, the use of Omen, the paranoia being sent straight towards A main. Pistol push.
Drone এটা comfort pick নাকি?
Hello. কই ঢুকছি
স্টার্ট দেন।
খালা মিথ্যু খালা
Going to send anyone back if anyone was going to be at A, but unfortunately there wasn't anyone in that particular instance.
একটু
But
পর
on the other
ডাউনটা
side for
দিতেছে
Sentinels, they placed the Cypher camp.
একটু আইতেছে আরে আমার এখন খাইতে ডাকে Come back.
তাও হেভি শুট কিনছে দেখ।
কার কথা কইতেছস ওই যে জেড হ্যাঁ দেখছি মানে ওরা রাউন্ড জিতছে দেখা বুঝছি
দাঁড়া হ্যাঁ
আইসই স্টার্ট দে
হ্যালো ইমতিয়াজ। একটু পর আমার বাপের এমন কিছু শুনবো যেটা আমি এক্সপিরিয়েন্স করছি এক ছোটবেলায়। তুই আমার থাপ্পড় হাত দে আজকে থাপ্পড় মারবি। আরে আইসে স্টার্ট দে ওর পয়েন্ট তো আর আসে
Over towards A as well, so we're going to have this battle for A early on. And whether we're going to see more of that battle actually go down, and whether it's going to be a consistent try and dip in and out.
ফার্স্ট গান রাউন্ড।
And for me, unfortunately, there was just really, it was just
Fast gun round.
full vision denial. Hayes playing this angle here, pops one, gets damage into the second. The paranoia is going to be so chunky too.
ইকো এসে তো রাশ দিছে না।
That setup, it was just going to fall apart. As soon as that paranoia
যদি
came,
একটারে মারতে পারে তাহলে ওরে আবার ট্রাই করা
really
লাগবে
nowhere that they could go, and the off angle too, just really just clean.
Yeah, Cutler just positioning himself differently across various angles on this map just to ensure that that paranoia can be used and not predicted by Sentinels. Because you can get very aggressive with the paranoia. See, at the moment, inside the Sentinels, now they do have weapons. It is just a spread evenly across the map. One, just making sure there's no push towards A. Two, making sure there's no push towards B, and the other two just holding down middle. Just ensuring there's not going to be any aggression here from TSM. There's that camera again on the A side, just to push the player away from ramps, but there is that aggression into B garage. Sinatra gets one. Hayes is going to be able to retreat after the trade, and that's big.
ওই যে ওদিক দিয়ে ক্লিয়ার করার জন্য একদম সেফ দিছে।
Big. That's important.
Yeah, and I did like the start there for the slow and the nade. You got people that will always just try and go into that and go for the peak, get a little overzealous, and that actually was just
ট্রেড করছে টিমমেট মরার সাথে সাথে ট্রেডটা নিচ্ছে।
Drop back, wait for the opportunity, and then go back in because they thought that they had some safety, some room to breathe. Now, though, the action will be actually going to prevent them from being able to get a little bit more movement in heaven. Cutler just waiting this one out. But now that the slow orb has dissipated, they'll be receiving them down low. Hayes is on this angle, right down low, but that is just a Shazam peak for just for the win. That was just great. But here's Wardell. He's still alive. He's still going to be a problem. But I think as he creeps forward here, Shazam will be waiting for this. Clean kill on Dapper. As he tries to
be tough. একজন মরবে একজন সেভ দিবে।
Watch out for the stage just pushing out. They heard it as well. Sick heard that movement, so jumped right on the opportunity to do so. Drone This is not going to be a winnable situation for him. Couldn't even get inside.
Get up towards
Oরা
B
exit
heaven,
fragger
use
জন্য
the
ওয়েট
dark cover
করছে।
to cut off Wardell over towards ropes. They just bundled up, and as soon as they are there together, just ensure that you push at the same time. You use all the utility to block off any vision elsewhere, and then it was sick. Hitting shots, getting onto site
এবার
as he
speaker
always
ছাড়ছে না।
does. The man is so confident, and it doesn't really matter what agent he plays.
Main
He
round,
seems to be there
সবার
or
ভাই।
thereabouts, right place at the right time, and it's aggression again towards A. Sinatra gets the opener onto Sabrosa. So for all this time, they've just been putting a camera up and showing presence, but now when TSM maybe don't expect it, instead you get the double push to ensure they get the trade.
Wardell's going to even the odds here with that shot on Zom, so you lose out the paranoia, the smoke, that very critical utility that they could use to
Shazam.
try and take sight here. Oh man, Shazam, he looked away. He was still holding the angle, but then he thought that, well, if I turn this corner, someone will surely be there. And as he looked, it just did not pay off for him. Drone being forced back on screens. Wardell didn't like the shot, so he's going to tailwind out of there. It wasn't an angle that he was comfortable with. Then Drone comes right back into the fray. Spike down, but it's basically just going to be sick. And it doesn't matter how good you are as a battle stage. There's just no room for you to be able to work with. They suffocated him on A side. TSM will get another round here. After Sentinels were able to finally respond with one. And even that look at the beginning I thought was just a great start for them, but it's about the recovery, and also Wardell being that recovery for them. That kill right there just reevaluated their entire game plan.
Yeah, we see this kind of dark cover being pushed towards ropes quite often, but actually Oppers are now more and more confident to push out to the right-hand side to get that pick from
নাজমুলের
market. I think people are going to start to become a little bit wise to it, so you've got to be careful if you are the Opper. You don't want to get too predictable. Going to be a heavy push towards A this time for Sentinels, and RTSM going to have the right players in the right time. Wardell doesn't connect with that shot. Look at this flash from Drone, it's huge.
When you see a jet with a judge, really the only option is to fly at someone's face and shoot them a million times. But they will be able to use the right players back into the fight here, so that's going to give them a slight advantage. They know that someone's still going to be tucked away, so Shazam being brought back in really doesn't end up doing anything as Hayes gets the kill. And just look at the peak as well, using the glass above screens to just give him a little more intel as to where they're going to be located. Now though, they'll jump right back over because I think he saw maybe one player there, but there was just not enough for him to go for that commitment. There's Wardell as he drops back over to the side of comfort. Comfortable position by the elbow. This guy is basically going to be dead to rights. But watch out though, because Dom was waiting for him. Hayes was prepared to actually help him out. Now 2v2. Spike's still going to be in play here for Sentinels, and they go over toward B because they think that maybe they actually rotated within all of that commotion. Hayes doesn't get what he wants. Yeah, he doesn't get what he wants. He doesn't see anything. So there's still going to be a bit perplexed as to where they're going to be, but time is ticking.
Held that spike towards A main. They didn't commit to it. They forced TSM onto the site. Now they're going to push towards B. It's going to be a 2 versus 1, and they make it. A 2 versus 1 to end the round as well. Spike will go down. And we're going to have to see whether this 1 versus 2 retake for Hayes is actually going to be successful. At least he's got full health.
Now they're going to push towards B. It's going to be a 2 versus kid. Versus 1 to end the round as well. Spike will go down.
Though this is a smart one because
there's 1 versus 2 retake for Hayes. It's actually going to be successful.
All the way wrapping around toward heaven. It's going to give Hayes like really just no open opportunities here. Going to run right into stage on the other side. So that's going to be the exchange.
কিন্তু একেবারে রোটেট
To be coming
করছে
in
দেখ
from
হেভেনে
হুম
that garage, but instead it's Zapper from heaven. As soon as that spike went down, he just sprinted around because they knew where he was going to be. They played that expertly as expected between these two teams, and they turned a
বেশি লেট হয়ে গেল যদি
into a
ডিফিউজ
win.
টিফিউজ দেওয়া হয়
So by holding the spike and not planting, not committing to that site, Sentinels ensured they continuously had the player advantage, because on the side for TSM they were reluctant to go for the full rotate because the spike hadn't been planted. There was going to be comms there, I'm sure. Spike hasn't gone down yet, no one's on. Make sure we're still at B, make sure there's still some presence there so we don't get shooting.
Aside from TSM, they were reluctant to go for the full
Paranoia, but it doesn't all a bunch of damage. Thankfully, it's only going to be to the run back stage.
Spike hasn't gone down yet, no one's
You
on.
know that it's still going to be here by 8, so that's fine. I think that gave them enough to work around.
হ্যাঁ ভালো
কেমনে গেল আমি ঘুমাইতে
With
ও ডিসকর্ডে মিউট দিতে
preemptive wall 2 at mid, just to provide some safety, some coverage. Things slow down here yet again. Sabrosa's going to be the first point of contact. Nacho comes through. He hears that jet dash over to the side, and Sabrosa continues to be up here
Nice.
in causing distractions and problems.
হ্যাঁ
As well, and this guy's going to get posted in the corner.
এই আটকে গেছে
But
নাকি
when you think that he's going to
ভাই
be out of it,
এটা আপকাট করেছিল হ্যাঁ
he still managed. The things slow down here yet again. Sabrosa's going to be the first point of contact. Nacho comes through. He hears that jet dash over to the side, and Sabrosa continues to be up here in causing distractions and problems as well. And this guy's going to get posted in the corner.
Zombs.
But when you think that he's going to be out of it, he still manages to squeak away 2 kills. It's going to be very difficult for him to work with anything here with 18 HP. He gets another one. I mean, the man is 18 HP, but he's still being effective. Now he's going to just go right over toward Beast.
ইনফুনি ভাই দাঁড়া আটকে গেছে
আরে পজ করছে।
ও আচ্ছা
কথা বলতেছ না কথা শুন
হুম 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 হুম
Saw that a player was going to be there. That gives him some intel that the only one that will be left here at A is the sniper. 32 seconds remaining. Clock is going to continue to tick down. Wardell has repositioned over towards screens. And now they'll be sending 2 players here too. That's going to be Hayes ready and waiting for that shot. He had to make a decision there. I think he thought maybe if he cleared that, just got a little bit more confidence, he could have actually went and charged over to B. Perhaps it was going to be wide open, but that was just a I just
Stunned by Zombs, and I think the opposition team was as well. They wouldn't expect those rounds to be that expensive. I mean, right at the start, though, the amount of utility that was sent towards A, and the Paranoia and the Boombot to try and get the wide peak for Sentinels, but TSM doing very well. If you consider the fact they don't have a Cypher, they can't just entrust that one Cypher to play on a site. They're instead stacking sites, and they're predicting where Sentinels are going to be, and they're doing it very successfully.
getting that first frag there to start things off. Also, watch out for that showstopper. I don't think it's found any targets. Mid is available now. Hayes watching the angle with this op. Only one player is going to be there for the cross, and the dark cover is going to block that off. So Rosa now, he knows where they are. He knows at least where one player is going to be, and if he hears the ropes, he was going to. If he heard the ropes, he was going to go for that shot there. But that's. that's okay. While he does use the orbital strike, it forces them. They don't really get any opportunity to back away in case things just don't go that well. I think in hindsight, he probably would have loved to have been able to hold on to that one as Zombs picks up a kill against Cutler. The paranoia does not connect with the blind on Hayes. And now TSM continue to add on. Already, just you're a little prophet, Gaskin, because you were talking about what you wanted to see TSM do, and they're doing it very well. They're getting rounds on defense. They're establishing their journey when they switch sides for that attacker.
And they're just making
Defend
sure
ভালো
that
হলে
they are
অনেক
rotating well, communicating, ensuring that if there's ever any sort of stack that they think is about to happen, they've got enough resources there to make it difficult for Sentinels to get onto site. Because when you look at the composition for Sentinels, I mean, they've only got a single flash, the Paranoia. So once you see that Paranoia go towards one side, you can kind of hedge your bets that it's probably going to be some form of a push there, as Wardell, dry peek from Sick, is not going to be rewarded.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
এতেই সবাই
And maybe actually Sentinels could try and use that to their advantage. Send a Paranoia to one side and just use it as a fake. Maybe have a couple of smokes there from Omen at the same time. And perhaps that can be the way that they can get onto some of these sites, because TSM do seem to be wise to all these pushes now. They've clocked onto it, and they're starting to rack up round after round.
And that freeze also, you can tell, you saw it on the screen. Shazam was going to be the victim there in that fight as he came out of anime. Now, Dapper just with minimal options to work around with. They're trying to see if they could pull anything out on B side, but with Wardell put.
কিন্তু এক্সপেক্ট করে না 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 এক্সপেক্ট করবে না
Trolling that with the op, and then Hayes has this angle too. It could be bad news bears for Sentinels. They see the peak too. The swing's going to be coming from the left side as well, and he's really going to be committed. Bad news bears for Sentinels. They see the peak too. The swing's going to be coming from the left side as well, and he's really going to be committing to that. Sabrosa does get a kill, but right then and there, it's Zombs who manages to give them a fighting chance in this round. The 3v2 is still going to be quite challenging considering that they don't have any heals to work with, and Zombs is going to be in the red.
So what Zombs can do before. He's low on health.
It's true, and the man has no health, and then he manages to get 3 kills. So, it's like, what do we know, right?
Teleport is there.
Oh,
And it doesn't matter, the drone's there as well. But okay, Dapper, I see you. Don't think you're going to have time to plant this,
read, though, for the TP, because, well, they stopped them there. So even if that didn't happen, they still had someone to be able to respond. Again, you look back, you're like, it would have been nice to keep the teleport, but they do manage to get themselves a win here that will be quite fruitful for them as they continue to build upon this lead now.
I think you're happy to commit an Omen ultimate to try and secure a round. An Omen ultimate isn't that great, right? Like, it doesn't do that much. It's usually just for info. And I think this is an important round. That was an important round for TSM because they know it's going to be a weak buy for Sentinels to follow. So they don't want to throw it away and have any sort of stupidity happening in that 2 versus 1. So I can appreciate it being used there.
Oh, Sabrosa. I like that mid-aggression. Sinatra was not expecting that at all. He was looking over at the doorway, and then he could safely back away, go back to Hayes, get the wall up, and they're fine. He'll just go right back into the safe haven of heaven.
Wardell has just been holding this this B side, comfortably on his own. They don't need a Cypher when you've got Wardell being able to hold it that successfully with the off, and Sabrosa denying Shazam any sort of shot towards heaven.
They're cooking him. Yeah, that was just into the meat.
Green kill चला गया हम टीम में
7-2 for TSM. Aggression on mid. They were not expecting that at all. It's just another.
আর ওয়ালি তো সেজ মেইন মানে মেইন ড্রিম কে
They're going down the well here. And
Omen
what
ke.
a weird turn of events as well, right? TSM picks Haven, and it just appears that their like Sentinels have the playbook out, and now it's the same thing here. We go to split, and TSM they got the playbook out. It's a game of chess, and it keeps on going. It's a very violent game of chess, but it works.
But again, TSM doing their research and recognizing where Sentinels have their tendencies and their patterns. Sentinels are very good at pushing towards A, gaining control of ground, gaining control of heaven, and then be able to split a team and push towards mid and then take B or A depending on where they get those picks. But TSM have been denying that completely with their ramp presence. It's been a very successful hold for them on the sites, round after round, and Sentinels haven't been able to really convert anything since.
এই ম্যাপে মিড কন্ট্রোল করলে পুরো ইজি এতেও যাবে দিতে
Buy down.
Cracking, I'm sure, for him. Because Shazam was looking at him. Now Cutler has to deal with this. Does have a paranoia. Is going to be actually deployed out, it seems. 2 kills exchanged, and Sage has managed to pick up some action now. Wardell's still going to be hard holding on B, and Subrosa getting to work in the rope room. 2 players there. A-site's wide open. This res now couldn't come at a better time here for Sentinels.
I know exactly where you are.
And then the neural theft as well. So they got a lot of intel. This is going to give them all the room that they need. There goes the paranoia. I think it did connect there for a moment.
They just tried to use their fake footsteps to try and bait them towards A, and
yeah, and then they
did that pretty successfully.
Right back to B.
And of course, with the neural theft. Is always going to make things a little bit more challenging. TSM with a little bit of money to work with, so they could go for this. And of course, with Wardell in his blades, they're certainly going to give this a go.
The poke actually came in
আরে ভাই
first,
এত
but I mean, just a
ট্যাকটিক্স
goal
কইরা লাভ
from
নাই
that man.
এম ঠিক করতে হবে
Wardell had the blades out. Respect
Teamer
that,
aim.
because Wardell don't miss with those. Not all.
বেশিরভাগেরই ভালো না
Shazam lined up, and finally Sentinels show some life.
এটার পর কেউ আমি খেলতে
It was only going to be so long before TSM can continuously try and prevent them on defense over and over and over again. That res is also going to be beneficial to them too, because they don't got to spend all that much money. And
defending side
though, possible time to Gaskin. That was again just another great use of utility that won them the round. Ults. I think we were always looking at ults as kind of just like there, but now like players are beginning to really take the ultimate abilities and put them to use in a way that's effective toward round wins.
প্লাস ওয়াল ব্যাংক করবি মনে কর যদি দেখোস ওই জায়গায় আনটার জানতে ওয়াল ব্যাংক করবি কারণ ওয়াল ব্যাংক লাগা যায় হালকা একটু ড্যামেজ খাবে
For Sentinels, they found their success when they do go through middle, when they've been able to utilize dark cover to ensure that there's not going to be anyone shooting them from ropes. Then once they get control of middle, they have been finding themselves very comfortable into B heaven, but there is an orbital strike here and a waiting for Subrosa, and there's a lot of people there right in the middle of this. It's going to be some damage, and it forces them out.
That was like the perfect orbital strike, and then the run it back as well. Let's not forget. So they play run it back into it. He can charge in because he's fine. He's not going to be too concerned about losing any health. He's just going to go right back to a normal state there. I love that. Shazam again is going to have to make magic happen, which he has been able to do so. It's actually going to be Dapper this time around, and then the reactive paranoia comes in. He's actually going to prep them to be able to drop them back into the site and herd them exactly where they want. Now here comes Shazam. Cutler's just watching all these different angles, and he doesn't get the Blade Storm either. Gets that kill. This round changes significantly there. Zom actually was still standing there alongside Wardell, and now they have bounced back. Round a bit more. I think 7-5 is fine, but
shot miss করলো পালাই গেল
here 9-3, even at 8-4, it's I think 8-4 is it changes because of pistol rounds, like we'll see if you get pistol rounds, you can actually build upon that. But 9-3 does become a bit dicey.
I think with how successful both of these teams are at defending on split, you'd be happy with 4 rounds. 3 rounds you can work with, especially if you pick up the pistol afterwards. But that round was almost a success from Sentinels. I mean, the paranoia coming from market as they pushed heaven, that's the kind of standard now. It's very difficult to react to that when you're blind and you're getting pushed by 2 or 3 people. But it was positioning from TSM to ensure that it wasn't just those players in heaven. And again, just the one player over towards A was Wardell, and then he joined the fray a little bit later. And the reactive paranoias, again, just to ensure that it's not going to be an easy push into B heaven. Utility, great use there from TSM.
Yeah, and then the slow or 2, let's not forget
ওরা
that.
কিন্তু দেখছো শুনুন ওরা কিন্তু মিডটা খালি বারবার বি যাচ্ছে কিন্তু এ আর যায় না এ খালি একবার গেছে
But I don't think it really mattered and what benefited them there in the moment in time. But now we
ওরা যতবার মিডে গেছে মানে খালি বি যাচ্ছে এ আর যায় না
Spike is going to go down. But
guard to
lot of utility to mess around with here. Blazewalk can give him a
মিড
transition.
কন্ট্রোল করলে এতেও যাও যায় বিতেও যাও যায় আর
Throws
ইজি
that camera out. Drone
মেইন
flies
দিয়ে যাওয়ার হার্ড
exit, But in a blink of an eye, both players are going to be obliterated as they come through to the defender's side. 8-4 going into the half. Much better result there, and I think that Sentinels are pleased with that. I think both teams are satisfied with the result, all right? I know it seems weird to say that, but...
আমি না নাজমুল ভাই আমার সেম লাগছে পুরো
খেলবি